Hello, everybody. All right, so welcome to the Mikestand. Today is, of course, Monday, December 2nd, 2024. As I said last night, of course, we're in the home stretch of 2024 as we're getting ready to finish out the month here. So, of course, going to give people a chance to come in here before we get started. Um, if you haven't already, if you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage, that'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. We continue to wait for people to show up here. Anyways, just do this. La 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 la. La 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 la. Anyways, La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Ravaged the land as never before. Total destruction from mountain to shore. Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. Have a yabba dabba do time. From the town of Bedrock, there's a place right out of history. That's right, with the family down the street. Rudolph, courtesy of Fred the Leap. When you're, or Fred's 2 feet. When you're with the Flintstones, have a yabba dabba do time. A dabba do time. We'll have a gay old time. Anyways, so now we're at the 3 minute mark. So let's talk about what's on tap for tonight. So tonight, got a couple of articles to go over from Bleeding Full. One, it looks like Todd McFarlane will be returning to writing duties on Spawn, starting with issue number 360. And then also, apparently, there's an unflattering Elon Musk graphic novel struggling to find English publisher. I wonder why. Could it be that the woke attacks on traditional American values is finally, falling flat with all the negativity that they blasted Trump and those aligned with him? Is it finally starting to fall flat on their faces for it? Anyways, not that we're trying to get in too political here, but again, it's stuff to talk about. So, with that, why don't we go ahead? I guess I will go ahead and get started here. As I said, if you haven't already, if you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and I will try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. So, with all that being said, let's go ahead and get started here. Go over to the first article talking about Spawn creator Todd McFarlane here. So, anyways, all right. So, let's get into this. Spawn creator Todd McFarlane returns to writing duties with issue number 360. Article by Jameson Ashley, published yesterday, December 1st, 2024. So let's take a look at this. Next year, Todd McFarlane Productions' landmark Spawn 360, number 360 issue, will see the return of Todd McFarlane to writing duties on the iconic series, reunite him with superstar artist Brett Booth. There he is right there. This highly anticipated issue launches readers into a bold new chapter of the Spawn universe. As Spawn's powers are restored, the dead zones are thrown open, and new threats emerge. In Spawn 360, blood has triumphed, Spawn has been defeated, and the vampire kingdom has ascended. As the world reels from the seismic events, the stage is set for a stunning new direction in the best-selling series that continues to captivate audiences worldwide. Known for his electrifying artwork, Booth brings McFarlane's vision to life with dynamic illustrations that leap off the page. Spawn number 360 features a 150th copy Incentive Virgin cover by Booth, which is a must-have for collectors and fans alike. This exclusive variant adds to an exciting lineup of covers available on Wednesday, January 1st at local comic shops. All right, so that one did kind of go a little quickly, but I kind of knew that one was going to go a little quick. All that is that's just an announcement. It's not nothing too controversial or oh, wow, that thing went so quick. Anyways, but let's get into something a little more meatier here. Unflattering Elon Musk graphic novel struggling to find English publisher. Article by Avi Green, and this one was also done yesterday. So I think this one might take us a little longer here. That first one. So the UK Guardian wrote a sugar-coated take on the case of a British graphic novelist's alleged biography of Tesla CEO Elon Musk, who's also the owner of X Twitter. So this is from the Guardian article here. That was Avi speaking right there. A biography by a British graphic novelist of Elon Musk is struggling to find an English language publisher due to feared quote-unquote legal consequences. Elon Musk, in investigation into a new master of the world, is the latest graphic novel by Daryl Cunningham from West Yorkshire. Cunningham, 64, has written and illustrated 7 nonfiction books on topics ranging from the 2008 global economic meltdown, super crash, to Russian leader Vladimir Putin, subtitled The Rise of a Dictator. Cunningham said in a post on his Patreon website last week, quote, its publication in other countries looks unlikely. I'm told that there was interest from various international publishers at the recent Frankfurt Book Fair, but there was concern over possible legal consequences, unquote. So I wonder what those legal consequences were. Well, I guess Avi will probably point that out here in this statement that he makes following this excerpt. So this is Avi speaking. And what if it's because the graphic novel contains defamatory claims and other statements about Mr. Musk that they're worried could draw a lawsuit? They provide a sample panel from the graphic novel where it appears Musk is being accused of, quote-unquote, spreading misinformation, and this suggests Mr. Cunningham's more interested in taking a negative view of Musk than a positive one. on which note it stated here that now back to the article. It was published in France in May, and Cunningham added that so much has happened since then, including Musk being appointed by incoming U.S. President Donald Trump to jointly head up his new Department of Government Efficiency, known to everybody now as Doge. Does sound kind of like a word that a millennial would come up with, right? Doge, DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. Now Cunningham is already working on updates for subsequent editions. The book is certainly no glowing hagiography. Drawing on various sources, Cunningham tells the life story of Musk going back to his parents, Errol and May, and Musk's grandfather, who Cunningham says was, quote, a bit of a white supremacist, unquote. He charts the rise of Musk to the quote-unquote billionaire class through his various business dealings, including acquiring Tesla, SpaceX, and Twitter, which he renamed X. Cunningham said, quote, knowing what I know about the man, my conclusion is that it's incredible that such a mediocre figure can amass such wealth, but it was ever thus. Unquote. And this is a question I find myself asking myself. I asked this about, obviously Donald, the situation, Donald Trump. Now, I would find myself asking this about Elon Musk here. I wonder if his view would be so negative if Musk had never changed his mind about Donald Trump. If Musk was towing the party line, as it were, that Trump is evil, Trump is Hitler reincarnate, Trump is Satan incarnate, this, that, and the next thing. Trump's a white, Trump's racist, homophobic, this, that, and the next thing. I wonder if Musk hadn't changed his mind about Trump, changed his mind about the Democratic Party, about liberalism, about progressivism and all that. I wonder if people like Cunningham would would still be trying to trash the man. Just makes you think that, because, and I mentioned this too with Donald Trump too. It's like a lot of these same people who are now vilifying Trump. In fact, I know Jeremy from the Quartering even showed, I think it was, I don't know if it was him or ABL, Anthony Brian Logan, who did this, but they pulled up a picture of how at one time, you had, I think, Kamala Harris and Trump in a picture together where he was, I knew, and it's been pretty well known that over the years, Trump has given money to both sides, and he's kind of gone back and forth between being he was a Democrat, and then he was a Reform Party, then he went back to being a Democrat, and he went, so he's kind of all over the place, but it's one of those things where a lot of these same people who are now vilifying Trump had no problem like 10, 15 years ago, well, more like 15, 20 years ago, taking money from Trump, right? Accepting money from Trump. 15, 20 years ago, they had no problem taking, accepting money from Trump in the terms of campaign donations. Fast forward to just 10 years ago, all of a sudden he's the most evil because he decided to challenge, because his views on a lot of things had changed. because he was daring to challenge the heir apparent, as it were, in Hillary Clinton, and or that a lot of his views on America and what America should be changed from what they saw as what America should be. So it just goes to show interesting little take on the human condition there. Anyways, as we continue on here, so and there's Avi speaking now, I believe. Let me just I should double check that. Yeah, we're back to Avi speaking now. Quote, a bit, unquote. If it turns out these are trumped up accusations lacking any solid sources, then should it be any surprise if some publishers don't want to risk lawsuits for making false accusations against a businessman whom Cunningham seems more interested in putting down than in praising for getting as far as he did with the businesses he's working in? Yeah, I mean, and it's kind of funny the kind of the play on words there. I don't know if the pun was intended or not there for Avi when he said trumped up accusation, but that's just funny. That's just funny. Interesting how only when a right-wing figure is the one who could sue for defamation does a left-wing paper like The Guardian suddenly care. Yeah, I mean, just recently, Donald Trump threatened to sue the film studio producing The Apprentice, which follows a false defamatory narrative that was long. So I guess in this case they're talking about, the documentary about when he was doing The Apprentice, when he was doing his reality show The Apprentice, which follows a false defamatory narrative that was long debunked. And if Cunningham's graphic novel also does anything wrong, should we be surprised if it resulted in a lawsuit? Why wouldn't Musk want to defend his grandpa's good name? And it's sure strange why somebody who wrote a graphic novel about a Russian despot who attacked Ukraine without provocation remains a leftist himself, despite how Putin is basically leftist too. If Trump wants to save Ukraine from a terrible fate, will Cunningham be complaining? There's a lot of better topics Cunningham could take up, but he's going for all the cheap ones. So there we go with that one. Wow, I got through those two articles pretty quickly, but I'm kind of reluctant to. There is an Alan Moore article that could take up more time, but I don't want to. That's something more I would rather, start from the beginning with the whole show on. So I think what I'll do is I'll try to take a peek around, see if I can find something else to go over. But while I'm doing that, I'll put some music on. I'm going to go off camera here for a moment. I'll be, of course, right back. But I'll put some music on while I'm gone. I'll be right back. All right, did that a little in reverse order, but all right. So let me see if I can find something here. Let's see. Oh yeah. Is anything here worth? And co-founder of the team. Hmm. Hmm. That's hmm. I think this one looks pretty interesting. Oh, let's take a look at this one here. All right, so I did find something of interest here. Over at that Park Place. See, we'll go through that real quick. All right, so Disney fans turn on Winnie the Pooh as voice actor Jim Cummings attacked online over alleged support of Donald Trump. Article posted yesterday by M. Montanero. So let's take a look at this. So, oh bother indeed. Jim Cummings, the beloved Disney voice of Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, Darkwing Duck, and many other iconic characters, is being attacked by unhinged fans over alleged support of U.S. President elect Donald Trump. To put this in perspective, Jim Cummings' huge crime in the eyes of these quote unquote fans is simply stating that Trump, the former U.S. president who presided over 4 years in office, isn't Hitler. Okay. If that's what they're getting upset that he's saying that he's not Hitler, then that's kind of ridiculous. Oh boy. Cummings responded to an X post made by Donald Trump parody account, which shared an image of a woman holding a sign that said, quote, "If Trump isn't Hitler, then I'm a moron," unquote. And then I guess in response, Jim Cummings said, "Who is this moron?" The longtime Disney voice actor responded by simply saying, "Who is this moron?" Yeah, I guess. After that innocent, seemingly joking statement, people lost their minds. Quote, as someone who grew up with your Pooh and Tigger, this is incredibly heartbreaking, unquote, an ex user who goes by the name Claire said. Another user declared with seemingly no irony whatsoever, quote, Jim, you've disappointed millions of people today, unquote. But it doesn't stop there. The reaction train continued becoming more unhinged with each post. Some users claimed to be crushed, quote unquote, by Cummings' seeming acceptance of a political party that differs from their preference, while others want a more profane and hateful route. Or, while others went a more profane and so they're getting upset because he basically kind of said, no, the person was a moron because I guess he doesn't believe that Adolf that that Donald Trump is Adolf Hitler. Ex user Freddie Krugersaur said, quote, "And now we know you're a rapid seek piece of bleep, um, typical hateful geriatric boomer," unquote. It should be noted at this juncture that Cummings expressed no hatred toward anyone, yet this poster is being particularly hateful while using images of children's cartoon characters to make that point. So because he's not, so their logic is because he's not dumping on Trump or vilifying Trump, therefore he too must be evil. Yeah, these people need to be locked in an asylum somewhere. These people should be rounded up and straitjacketed. That is ridiculous. It should also be noted that Cummings, the man who these people are maligning as a terrible human being, partners with the Make a Wish Foundation in his spare time to call sick children as Winnie the Pooh to bring a little brightness and happiness into their world. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, they're vilifying the man because he supports Trump, and yet look at what he does in his spare time. Another bemoaned, quote, "What happened to you, Jim? What the bleep happened to you?" While others insinuated that the legendary voice man had destroyed his career with this one simple statement. First off, I doubt that. First off, Jim Cummings has been around for 50, 60, for 50, 60 years. So I don't really see that his career is, is ruined. Okay. I'm sure that, Cummings has voiced many classic Disney characters, including Winnie the Pooh since 1988, Tigger since 1989, Darkwing Duck from the Darkwing Duck, Baby Herman from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, King Louie, and Don Carnage from Tailspin, Fat Cat from Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers, Ray from The Princess of the Frog. I think from what I remember too, I think he also did Dingo from Gargoyles. And I think they even noted that I think he did acting Taz for Warner Bros. During Tasmania as well. He's also taken over voice acting duties for classic characters like the Cheshire Cat, King Louie, Pete, Ka, King Triton, and many others. Still, it wasn't all hate. Many ex-users on both sides of the aisle stuck up for Cummings, expressing his political views, in parentheses, if that was even what he was doing. Like Jeremy Griggs, the founder of Geeks and Gamers. Hail Jim. It will be interesting to see. It will be interesting to see should this snowball of outrage continue to roll downhill, what Disney will do in response. Company notoriously fired Star Wars actress Gina Carano for sharing a meme that criticized how conservatives are treated in today's society. However, other Disney actors like Pedro Pascal, Mark Ruffalo, Mark Hamill, and most recently Mama Odie actress Jennifer Lewis have gone on rants about conservatives comparing them to Nazis and Hitlers many times since she was let go. Lewis just this week declared that all black men and Latinos who voted for Trump did so because they quote unquote hate themselves. Yeah, that's a problem with a lot of these elitists. I mean, we've been hearing that a lot too. That you hate yourselves, or you're not black if or or you're uncivilized and uneducated. That was Sharon Stone. You know, so I mean, just because somebody doesn't agree with you doesn't mean that they're uneducated or uncivilized. It's the people who are reacting this way to those who have differing opinions are the ones who are acting uncivilized and uneducated. Quote, they voted for him, unquote, Lewis said, speaking once more about black men and Latinos, quote, because they hate themselves. And they see this thing, in parentheses, Trump, as powerful that he's going to move mountains for them and make them rich. Actually, I don't know making them rich per se, but I mean, I think that a lot of black men and Latino men did feel that their outlook on life was much better under Trump than it was under, the progressives, that their lives are much better under, conservatives than they are under progressive, values and stuff like that. She also claimed earlier this year, when speaking about the incoming president, quote, this bleep is Hitler, unquote. Carano is currently bringing a wrongful termination and discrimination lawsuit against Dinley for her firing. It's almost certain that Carano and her Elon Musk-backed legal team are keeping a sharp eye on Disney right now to see what happens with Jim Cummings. Do you think Disney will take action against Jim Cummings for his comments on a post about Trump? If they do, then they're fools, because it probably will open them up to another wrongful termination. And I'm sure that Elon Musk and his team are just chomping at the bit to go after them one more time. Do you think actors should be judged based on their political affiliations? No. Their work should be considered separate from who from who they are. I mean, I know that they do put a piece of themselves into their work, their personalities and all that, but again, that you shouldn't intermingle the actor with the character. Sound off and let us know your thoughts. So, anyways, so let's see now. Where are we on time here? Okay, so so that took us a little bit of time there. Let me just check one more. Let's see. Let's see. Well, we're at the 33-minute mark. I'm actually thinking of. Let me see now. Let me check one more thing here. Yeah, nothing really there. So, anyways, actually, I do need to step away from the computer for a moment. So I'm going to turn on some music here, and then when I come back, we'll probably start to move things along. We'll probably get into the wrestling wrap-up. So I'll be... All right, I'm back. So we're gonna now, of course, move forward and start moving on to the wrestling wrap up. As quite a bit happened over the weekend here. Of course, TNA had its TNA had its Turning Point pay per view. WWE had its Survivor Series. So Turning Point pay per view happened on Friday. Survivor Series happened on Saturday. Also, of course, AEW this past week started its Continental Classic tournament with the winners, of course, with the winner of course, coming the new Continental champion. So, anyways, let me. All right, so there we go. Okay, so anyway, so let's take a quick peek here at so first off on the pre-show on the countdown to now Turning Point, of course, the Turning Point pay-per-view took place at the Benton Convention Center in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. It was part of the WrestleCade wrestling convention. So on the pre-show, on the countdown, um, in a in a in a three-way women's match, Rosemary defeated Savannah Evans and Zaya Brookside. So that happened on the pre-show, and then getting onto the main show, there were a few interesting little tidbits that happened on the main show there. So we'll go over the matches real quick here. So Mike Santana defeated Frankie Kazarian. Um, you know, now maybe possibly putting him in a potential, giving him a potential shot at Nick Nemeth. As time moves on, as Kazarian, who was of course the gauntlet for the gold match, is as a trophy and waiting to cash it in. Now that Mike Santana is in essence beat the number one contender the to the TNA World Title. He now is making his case for for a shot in the near future. Joe Hendry won the Thanksgiving Turkey Bowl match, pinning Brian Myers. As the other participants in the match joined Henry, Eric Young, Hammerstone, John Schuyler, and I think more like Eric Young and Rhino primarily joined Joe Hendry in putting the turkey suit on Brian Myers of the system as the loser of the match would have to actually wear a turkey suit. You have to don a turkey suit. Moose with Alicia Edwards in his corner, retained the X Division title over Laredo Kid. Steve Mack in a no disqualification match. Steve Macklin defeated Josh Alexander. In a 6-man tag match that was originally scheduled to be Ace Austin and TNA World Tag Team Champions, the Hardys. It was originally slated to be. They were supposed to originally take on Kushida and the Rascals of Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz, but this is where Matt Riddle made his apparent debut in TNA as he replaced Trey Miguel in the match. But still, the team of Kushida, Riddle, and Wentz came up short against Ace Austin, the Hardy Boys. In a best 2 out of 3 falls match for the Knockouts World Title, Masha Slamovich retained over Jordan Grace, taking it to the full 3 falls, 2 falls to 1. Jordan getting the first fall, and then Masha coming back and scoring 2 straight falls on Grace to retain the title. And then in the main event, saw Nick Nemeth retain the TNA World title over Eddie Edwards, as other members of the system, primarily Brian Myers, try to interfere in the match, only for JBL to once again come out and take out the guys looking to interfere. Now there was some concern what was going on with JBL, because he apparently had been meeting with the system earlier in the night, so it wasn't sure. People weren't sure of, well, who's his allegiance really towards, but that will definitely seem to wait. So now we'll move on. So that happened on Friday. Then now we're going to move on to Saturday. We're going to first off look at the WWE Survivor Series. Of course, no titles changed hands on at Turning Point. All the champions who defended their titles retained. So now we're going to look at Survivor Series War Games, which took place in the Rogers Arena in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, with Corey Graves and Michael Cole on commentary. The show opened up with the women's War Games match, in which it was won by Bayley, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky, defeating the team of WWE World Women's Champion Liv Morgan, WWE Women's Champion Nia Jax, WWE Speed Champion, female Speed Champions Candice LeRae, Raquel Rodriguez, and Tiffany Stratton. There was a point in time when people were thinking that Stratton was going to try to cash in her Money in the Bank contract, but that didn't happen. They keep teasing it, and I think it's starting to get fans a bit annoyed. In the one in the match for the United States Championship, Shinsuke Nakamura defeated LA Knight to become the new United States champion. Of course, I think there might be a second or third reign as such, but Shinsuke Nakamura defeated LA Knight in just under 10 minutes to become the new United States champion. In a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship, Braun Breaker retained over Ludwig Kaiser and Sheamus. Gunther retained the World Heavyweight title over Damian Priest. And he apparently Finn Balor of the Judgment Day came in and interfered, and Gunther did not take too kindly to that, attacking Balor after Balor had essentially interfered in the match, which they're talking about the possibility of Gunther becoming a face here. In the main event, in the men's War Games match, saw CM Punk and the OG bloodline of Roman Reigns, the Usos, and Sami Zayn defeat the team of the New Bloodline of Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa, Tonga Loa, Tama Tonga, and Bronson Reed. So that's all. And then coming up on tonight's Monday Night Raw, let's take a quick peek at that. See what you can look forward to on tonight's Monday Night Raw here. So scheduled for tonight, with, of course, and they'll be coming from the Angel of the Winds Arena in Everett, Washington, with, of course, Wade Barrett and Joe Testatore doing the commentary. Damage Control of Kairi Sane and Io Sky will be taking on the Judgment Day ladies duo of WWE World Women's champion Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez in action. Also in another first round triple threat match for the women's Intercontinental title tournament, Dakota Kai taking on Shayna Baszler and Katana Chance. And R-Truth is also scheduled to take on Pete Dunne. So with that, now let's take a quick peek at AEW's Collision. As I said, they're getting the on this past Saturday night's Collision as the Continental Classic is underway. So the match opened up with a Gold League match in which Will Ospreay defeated Juice Robinson, earning his first 3 points in the round robin tournament. And then in a 6-man tag, CMLL star Mystico, teaming with Private Party, defeated Johnny TV and the M&M collection. In the first of 2 Blue League matches on the night, Kyle Fletcher defeated the Beast Mortos in just under 10 minutes. In a tag team match, the Outrunners of Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum defeated the Iron Savages of Beefcake Boulder and Bulk Bronson. Adam Page defeated Wheeler Yuta. Wheeler Yuta was then attacked by Page after the match, and then of course Jay White came out to chase off Page and challenge John Moxley to a title shot with Page. Well, with White saying to Wheeler Yuta, "Tell your king that the king is coming for him." And then in women's action, in just under 3.5 minutes, Mina Shirakawa in a prep as she prepares to take on, she prepares for her upcoming AEW Women's World Title match against Mariah May at Winter is Coming, defeated Layla Gray. And then in the final match of the first round of the Continental Classic, TNT champion Daniel Garcia and Continental champion Kazuchika Okada went to a draw, earning them 1 point each. So there you go with the wrestling route. Hey, Metal. Musky Spawn. Ew. Well, it was based on the 2 stories I picked for tonight. One of which was, so starting with issue 360, Todd McFarlane is returning to writing duties for Spawn, apparently. And the musky part is, apparently there's a graphic novel coming out from a guy named Daryl Cunningham over in England, but he's having problems getting, I guess he's having problems getting a distributor because apparently it's not a very nice biographic novel about Elon Musk. In fact, there's some publishers are worried that it may, because there may be some defamation involved. They don't want to get but if you want to learn more about it, you can go to go watch earlier portion of the show. What is it? So anyways, so now let's go ahead and so today is, of course, Monday, December the 2nd, 2024. So let's take a look back at this day in Nietzsche history. So first off, we're going to head back on this date 50 years ago today, back to 1974. As on this date back in 1974, 1974. Giant Baba defeats Jack Briscoe in Kagoshima, Japan, to become the new NWA World Heavyweight Champion. This is, of course, during back then the NWA champion had to tour all the territories, including Japan. This is during the that year's Japanese tour that Jack Briscoe dropped the title to Giant Baba. So on this date, 50 years ago today, Giant Baba would defeat Jack Briscoe for the NWA World Champion. Sure. Now, moving on to 30 years ago today, on this date, 30 years ago today, in 1994, Film Roman syndicated cartoon Mighty Max, which was a cartoon which was a animated science action horror television series based on the British Mighty Max toys, completed its run or was canceled on this date back in 1994. So on 30 years ago today, Phil Roman's Mighty Max aired its final episode as it was canceled on this date back in 1994. And finally, moving on to just 9 years ago today, as we hit up the last piece of niche history here. On this date in 2015, 9 years ago today, the 20th issue of Haunted Horror from IDW went on sale on newsstands on this date back in 2015. So 9 years ago today, the 20th issue of Haunted Horror went on sale on this date back in 2015. It sold for $3.99 and was 48 pages. So with that, I thank y'all for being here tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. Of course, we're back here tomorrow with more niche news. Also, this Sunday, Apex from Apex Comics will be joining me. We'll be looking back to comics that went on sale back in April of 1940 for our historical comic retrospective. We'll be looking at comics that went on sale from Centaur this Sunday, or Centaur. So with that, I thank everybody for being here, and I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Bye.